Who is George South?
Well, it's living proof that dreams come true. Everybody says we've all had a dream, especially in the business that I'm in, but it has really, and it's an old cliche, but it's just a dream that has come true. As a small kid, I always wanted to be a professional wrestler, and getting that opportunity, and it's realistically, it's the only job I've ever had, is being a professional wrestler. So to everybody that even sees how wrestling's changed over the years, that I've just tried to remain the same. And the love, almost 40 years later, is still just as strong for professional wrestling as it was when I first started. And that's from my very first day of training, a little bit of schooling back then, of course, and then just from all the TVs, working all the territories all over the world, and just doing a whole lot of traveling and a whole lot of fun, and just meeting a lot of great guys. Well, especially in the Charlotte area where I've always been around or lived part of is, of course, Chief Wahoo McDaniels. Paul Jones, Mr. Number One, was always my favorite. And, I started out going to the matches at the Park Center at a very young age, and getting to meet these guys and become friends with these guys, and going to get them coffee, carrying their bags, just hanging out with them. You really got to see some of the biggest, toughest men and get close to them just a little bit. Blackjack, Mulligan. What I think is kind of funny now is even being around Paul Jones and remembering his hatred for the Anderson brothers. They rib me now and say, we were good friends, with the Anderson brothers. And that makes me mad to this day. No, you wasn't. Y'all hated each other. No, we went to have beer together after we worked. And that part still, I don't even want to hear it. To me, it's still 1972, and Ric Flair just came in, and of course Paul Jones is feuding with the Anderson brothers. So those 3 or 4 guys were my whole childhood, getting to meet them, and even Ole Anderson to this day. They did an angle on TV where they were regional champs and they won the world belts, and so Ole got on TV and said, we throwed those regional belts in the trash dump. And believe it or not, me and my buddies went to every trash dump in Charlotte looking for those belts. So Ole still gets a big kick about that I believed it so much as a kid. I went through every trash dump in the world. And Ole says, you never found those belts, did you? I said, no, I never found them. So, but it was so believable to me, back then, that it was just, it was my childhood. And it just turned the TV on one day, and just seeing some of the greatest athletes that I have so much respect for, and I was hooked right then.